All right.
Great morning, everybody. So excited to be here with you today. Everybody has been here before, but for those of you, well, I guess, Ashley, this is your first time, so welcome. Very simple, guys. Again, we are here not to pitch our business, but to leverage knowledge and help each other as business owners and professionals. So we want to help each other raise the bar, raise the standard and the expectation for ourselves and our businesses. Today's talk is going to be very, very instrumental. So all businesses, we want to scale, right? And in order to scale, we've got to build a team. We've got to build an army. We've got to put the right people in the right seats. And so Ashley is absolutely phenomenal. You guys are going to love her. I know Josh and Ashley know each other well. For those of you that have not met Ashley, please connect outside. Use that chat, set up calls. I promise it will not be a wasted call. Everybody, make sure you get a call with her. So without further ado, I want to introduce Ashley. Again, our topic today is building an army. Now, Ashley is somebody that I met about 6 months ago, a little bit over.
Months? Holy cow.
Yeah, it's going by quick, but I
Jesus.
absolutely love her energy, her fire. She's just a very genuine person, definitely the type of person you want on her team. I mean, on your team. She's very professional in terms of training, coaching. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you also have a TV show as well. Is that correct?
Yeah, I have. I'm in the process of building one actually out here in Austin. I just sold one in Philly, and I am building one here. Yeah.
Very exciting. Very exciting. Also a networking whiz. Guys, you are going to be missing out if you don't set up a call with her. So please do use that chat. But without further ado, I'm going to hand it over to you, Ashley.
Thanks, buddy. Thank you guys so much for having me this morning. I know it's early. I know Josh and I are both in Central Time, so it's a little early for us. So I'm very excited to be here. So I was originally going to put a presentation together, but I think because this is such an intimate group, I'm going to go around and kind of do a little bit of personalized coaching. So I specialize in networking, but I also specialize in creating an army by building strategic partnerships. So when you start your own business or when you become a professional in a space that you are the subject matter expert in, you got to build people around you. Right? So you got to build an army around you of people that will advocate for you when you're not in the room. That is the essential part of building an army. But in order for me to do this correctly, can we just go around real quick and just tell me what sucks for you about networking? Like, what do you hate so much about networking that it makes you want to jump off into Patty's hot tub? Like, what makes you hate networking so much? Because that way I can cater all of these things that we're talking about based off of your challenges that you're currently facing. So Carissa, would you mind starting? Just because your hair is magnificent. It's the first thing I saw this morning.
I am terrible at replying in a timely manner. I'm on that like 3 to 5 business days. So trying to be on timely replies, that's my struggle.
Fantastic. Time management and just kind of following up to kind of nurture those relationships.
Right.
Okay. Do you use LinkedIn at all?
I have just recently started to use it again after starting these groups.
Fantastic. All right. I've got something for you. Awesome. Cool. Miss Patty.
I would say finding the quality people to do one-on-one with.
So hard sometimes. Everyone's a jabroni. Yeah. You could, but also, Miss Patty, you can also tell the BSers from like the first 30 seconds, right?
Well, sure. And I mean, but the problem is if they jump on your calendar, you're still putting that time out there. So it's still finding,
okay.
You know what I mean? It's still finding the quality people that, like when Keegan and I met, we felt that connection right away where, okay, we can refer, we can be network partners, but there's others that it was, you can't get that 30 minutes back.
Right. You're like, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Totally. Thank you. Okay, cool. Perfect. Thank you. Hi, Jen. Good morning.
Good morning. Sorry, I don't have a voice again.
Oh gosh, do you want to type it in the chat? Type it in the chat. We're not going to play it today.
It's okay, as long as you guys can hear me. It's been out off and on since November 18th. So
holy cow.
I'm getting used to it. It doesn't hurt. So
good.
But honestly, I really enjoy networking a lot. And I have had pretty good success just all around with it. I would say probably the most difficult thing at first was finding the right groups to get into that matched what I was looking for so that it didn't become that time suck. And the one thing that makes me want to jump, I hate water. So if I'm jumping into any form of it, like it's really bad. I had a call about a week ago that from the very beginning, he was pitching me. That call, he wanted me to sign up for his service. And I flat out told him, I'm sorry, I thought I was going to be on a networking call, not a sales call. And no disrespect, but I just wanted to make sure that I understood both of our intentions. Those networking calls are sometimes rough.
Yep. Cool. Perfect. Thank you so much. And that is a common thing. So I've got a couple of good tricks for that. Josh.
I think it's just narrowing down where we network. I mean, there's so many options. I mean, there's LinkedIn and events and there's such a broad range of options to network. So just concentrating and getting good quality and not quantity, I believe, is probably my biggest challenge or hurdle.
Okay, awesome. Thank you very much. Ashley?
I would say probably just not feeling super comfortable with it. I think that just comes from not having a ton of experience. So I think just kind of getting out there and doing it will help with that.
Gotcha. Yeah, you are. Are you an introverted extrovert?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay.
I'm definitely introverted. I mean, I think partially also I work from home. I don't see people a lot, talking on the phone a lot. And then also I'm full on mom, like all the time. So I'm just talking to little people all the time. So there's like a little bit of like an adjustment period. Like, oh, I'm having an adult conversation. Like I get to be like, not mom,
Right. Absolutely. Okay. Awesome. I've got a couple things for you as well. Hi, Matt.
Hello.
Thanks, Ash.
Basically, in terms of networking, the time vampires.
Oh, the time suckers. Haha. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I want to suck more is my Dyson vacuum cleaner.
Deal. All right, cool. So it looks like awesome. All right. So let's start off with time management. So when you build a network, what you're supposed to be building is a group of people, right? To build your army. There are 3 different kinds of groups that you want to network with. They're going to be strategic partners. Obviously, you know what strategic partners are. If you don't know what they are, we're going to define them now. These are people that can share clients with you. So for an example, a real estate agent and a divorce lawyer are fantastic strategic partners because if you're getting divorced, you're either upsizing or downgrading. So when you think about your service or your offering or anything that you're doing that you're a subject matter expert in, or providing, again, a product or a service, think about the life cycle of your avatar or your client and where they have to go before they get to you. If you can identify 5 to 10 industries that kind of encompass that, those are strategic partnerships. And those are the only people that you want to be networking with. If they do not hit on those top 10 industries, or unless they are a direct referral from one of those people in those industries, then you do not have to take the time to go in and have your time sucked by these people. So if you are strategic about the people that you're talking to or wanting to talk to, identify the top 10 industries that are relevant to your field. That's number 1, strategic partnerships. Number 2, these are subject matter experts. These people have a specific niche, right? If you suck at something, if you suck at Excel, find an Excel subject matter expert and pick their brain. If you're awful at business, find a business coach and have a conversation with them to get you on the right path, because I guarantee you, they will have an introduction and be more than happy to give you that intro. So that's the second. The third are your current network, your clients. Now, we're talking about building out an army. Here's how you start doing it. You create something called an A and B team. The A team are the people that you know, you like, and you trust. And I actually have a template I can give all of you to kind of create this out. That you know, you like, and you trust. The B team are the people that you know and you're like. Maybe they are introductions from friends of yours. Maybe they are new leaders of an association or an organization, or people that you just see that they are of influence. The know and the like are people that you're working on trusting. But when you're on new conversations, especially for people that are new in this area, new in networking, you are now creating a value add. If you think you have no value at the moment, which is a lie, because you absolutely do, you just need to find it. You can start by leveraging the relationships you already have, but doing it in a very productive way. And that nurturing that you were having a tough time with, I believe it was Carissa, right? Nurturing? Yep. Okay. So am I saying it correct? Is it Carissa or Carissa?
Same difference to me.
No, right. I'm sorry. Are you?
Oh, yeah, they really sound like the same to me. It's fine.
Okay, great. Okay. I just talked fast. That could be it. The coffee's kicking in. I apologize. Anyway, so thank you. So when you build this army, you want to be strategic about it. The top 10 industries that are relevant to your field, and you're building it out using something called the A and B team. Here's how you can also take a stab at doing the A and B team. You Google all of the industries that are allocated to LinkedIn. All of those industry names, like the names, right? You put it into an entire list. Just grab it, put it into an Excel sheet. Then you line it with the A team. So you throw it into that one column, and then off the top of your head, as you go through each industry, who's the first person you think of when you think of marketing? Who's the first person you think of when you think of advertising, right? They've already built that know, like, and trust factor inside your head subconsciously. That's going to be your A team. It could be 3 people, it could be 300 people, depending on your network, but that's okay. They've already built that relationship with you. Now, the B team are people that you've met in the last month, maybe met in the last year, that you're continuing to build, but now you've got 2 to 3 individuals associated with those industries, which means when you get on the call with somebody new, now you've got an entire list, and now you can match them based off of personality after need. So now you're being strategic about the people that you're making introductions to, but it's very strategic based off of those kinds of conversations. Now, the people you got, actually, you know what? Let me show you what it looks like, because I'm very technical. I stay on the computer all damn day. Let's do this. Preferred vendors. I'll show you guys what it looks like. You'll all get a copy of this. I give these to my clients now, but here's what this looks like. So this A and B team, you guys can see this, right? Not my emails. All right, cool. So this is how I build it out. So the list of LinkedIn industries, I put all here, and then I basically go through and see if I have anybody in those industries. Then I put them under this tab called VIPs, their last name, first name, last name, email address, their LinkedIn link, and I put tier 1, tier 2, which just means A and B team. Tier 1 is A, tier 2 is B. Then I go in and I grab their company name, their phone number if I have it, their industry, based off of what LinkedIn says, and then their specialty. You can find the specialty under the About section inside of their company profile on LinkedIn. This is just to take a full stab out of the people that you already know to start building your army. If you have a referral agreement with them, what their target market is, and these are all people that you know, you like, and you trust, or that you know and you like. So when you're on a call with somebody new that you really enjoy, you know, Patty and Keegan had a great introduction call, and now they're best friends, and you want to be able to help Keegan in some capacity. Let's say Coach Keegan does telecommunications, right? But you can't for the life of you remember who the hell also does telecommunications. You just look it up. And then while you're on the call, you already know, like, and trust these people. You can find the specifics to what everybody does inside this list. This is now giving you a more specific way and strategic way of making those introductions without having to rack through your brain or just go through LinkedIn, or tell them, hey, go through LinkedIn and pick out somebody that you think would be a good introduction. If anybody tells you that, that's being lazy. They don't know their network. They don't know their network at all. Don't take them up on it. And if they do, if you decide to take them up on it, take them up on it, because it's one of those things where if they don't understand who you want to get introduced to, then they don't know their network enough, and they're not close enough to their network to make those introductions. So I'm sure you've all had a conversation with Coach Keegan. The first thing he does, and the first thing we both did, was like, you need to talk to this person, you need to talk to this person, because you know your people, which there's power behind that. Not like egotistical power, but there's power behind that, because your network will never let you fail. When you have 125 people that you can call right now without any context and say, pick up the phone from a number you don't recognize and trust me, that provides you with the resources and the tools to be able to build a network in a way that you can get what you need, especially in your business. But in order for you to have this kind of army, you have to fight for them tenfold before you can even think about them fighting for you. So how do you do that? So we talked about intros from strategic partners, the top 10 industries. We talked about the quality. So that's how you build the quality with that A and B team. The right groups. Here's how you start doing that. So now we've got the quality of the top 10 industries that are relevant to your field, and then you have the A and B team. To find the right groups, start asking the A team where they go. I'm looking to be a part of groups. Most of these organizations have certain criteria for their members to bring in guests, which means start off with the people that you know, like, and trust. What groups are you a part of? Everyone's a part of a networking organization right now. A small group independently. Now, since COVID happened, everyone is doing these small, private, like very intimate groups because the chambers and a few of the other main associations are losing steam because you had to go out there, you had to come back. And yes, they're kind of building everything out, but you get a lot of people who are very, very flashy. They just want to, sell you on something. So what I'm seeing, and just from my own experience, the influx of these smaller groups is where it's at, and people feel more drawn and more vulnerable and easier to have conversations with people like this. So this kind of group is fantastic. What I suggest all of you do at some point is make a full list of all of the groups that you're a part of and see if you can make introductions for each other. Now, I also have a list of 185 networking organizations on the East Coast, so I'm just going to give that to all of you guys. And the reason why I'm giving that to you is because they also have virtual opportunities as well. You just have to sort through them depending on, what industry you want to get into or what organization seems interesting to you. But start asking, where do you go? Where do you like to go? What organizations are you part of that has been fruitful for you? That's how you do that. That's for Josh. All right, not comfortable. Okay, getting out there. So, hi, Miss Ashley. You are an introvert, which means you are a better networker than anybody else on this call because you talk with intention. You do not peacock it when you walk into a room. I'm very much a problem with that. You do not go forget Josh. It's the worst going into networking events with him. It is the worst. I can't find him. He's got 75 people around him. I don't know where my friend is. It's a whole thing. Anyway, don't go to networking events with Josh. But Ash, I want you to stick with networking online. The reason why is because you are going to expand your network even more. And here's how you do it. You do something called the $80 method. The $80 method is going on to LinkedIn, following the top 10 hashtags that are relevant to your industry. And then you're going to comment thoughtfully on those well-engaged posts, most engaged posts. The reason why you do that is because now your subject matter expertise in your industry is being seen by relevant posts. It's going to start people are going to start requesting to jump on to connect with you on LinkedIn. Open the door for a conversation, a 15-minute one, because one, you're kind of niching down the kind of people that are connecting with you, and two, it's coming from a post. So now you're on calls every day with people that are engaged in some way, and you can also see who you want to have a connection with. Before I started with this company, I work with a company called FlowChat. I'm the director of customer success over there. It's a fairly new position, but it combines sales and networking, which is why I joined the team. And I did the $80 method before jumping on this team, and that's how I had 7 to 8 calls on my calendar every day. Well, in mind, and don't do that, but it worked. So what I suggest you do, Ash, is build out your A and B team. Start having conversations with those people first because you like and trust them. Then from there, ask them for an introduction. But the ask is, there's a difference between a 50-cent ask and a $50 ask. Okay. The $50 ask is going to them and saying, hey, could you make an introduction to somebody that would be able to utilize my services? Now that person has to go through the Excel file in their head to figure out who the hell to make an introduction to. A 50-cent ask is going to that same person and saying, hey, I would love to be introduced, and you know this because you took this class, the top 10 industries that are relevant to your field. I would love to be introduced to these, people in these industries. Would you be comfortable making can you introduce me to people that you trust? Okay, that's people that you trust. From there, say, by the way, here's a 2-sentence quick synopsis of who I am. Again, do not make it more than 2 sentences because I barely read it as it is. And I will scroll through your email if it's a whole paragraph of your bio. I don't care. If my person is making an introduction, I want it to be because they thought I was a good match. I don't even care what you do. I want to know who you are at the end of the day. That's also another good point to make. Nobody gives a shit about what you do, guys. Nobody cares. Not a single person cares. They care how you make them feel and what you can do for them. So when you start making introductions and when you start having these conversations with people, it doesn't matter what they do. Obviously it does with, if you're looking at the top 10 industries, but you're getting to know the person about who they are. That's the foundation of networking. It's a human to human relationship. So Ash, for that, stick with online networking. You're a mom. And if you have conversations, even if it's on Fridays, like from 10 to 1, just block out your calendar and get excited about having coffee dates with these new people. You don't have to make them a Zoom call if you don't want to. I can give you some best advice or best practices here. If it's somebody completely random, block off 15 minutes on the calendar to chat with them, put a 15-minute buffer on the end just in case it goes over, but have a phone call first. And if they're cool because your time is valuable, then you add in a Zoom call. First meeting should always be a phone call. And the reason why I'm saying that is that if you have a lot going on, you can still get enough emotion. Oh, the baby's in the back. Oh, I love it so much. You can still have a good conversation with them. Now, to set expectations, which is what Patty was talking about, the time suck. Here's how you set expectations on a phone call. Thank you. I'm so excited to chat with you. Thank you so much. How do you know Coach Keegan, right? And now you've got a commonality. So that's why introductions are important, because now that's the common thread. And they give you an example, all that jazz. And then what you say to them is, oh, I am so excited to network with you. I'm looking forward to learning more about what I can do for you and how you can help me as well. So now you're going to set the expectation that it's a networking call. You're going to get the random idiots that are going to slide into your inbox. It's going to happen. Don't worry, you never have to talk to them again, but it's going to happen because people are people. What you do in that instance is whoever gave you the intro to that person, let them know. Let them know. Just say, hey, by the way, this person kind of sold me on the call. Thank you so much. Next time I'm actually looking for more simple introductions. That's simple, but like networking introductions. Strategic introductions. Let that person know, because there have been times where I've made introductions, but a handful, probably a dozen in my career that just did not land. And that was on me, right? Which means that I need to know moving forward. So that person who is selling them on a call, this isn't the first time they've heard that they're being dumb on a call. Or it is the first time they've ever heard that they're being dumb on a call. So it's not your job to course correct them. It's your job to gain your time back, but let the person that made that introduction know, because that's going to make better introductions down the line. Cool. Matt, time sucking. Everyone's an idiot, Matt. Just remember that. Everyone's an idiot. And when they get into on your calendar, remember that you're setting the expectations. You are in control. Anybody on this call, if you take anything from this presentation today, is that you are in charge of the follow-up. Do not wait for them to follow up. Do not listen to, they're lying on the call. Everybody's lying. They're not going to get back to you. And if they do, they're great. But think of it this way. You're in control of the conversation, which means you're in control of the follow-up and the next steps. Take control over that. It may take a little bit more time, but let me tell you, you're going to get better opportunities from following up with that person that you chatted with, especially if they're good for you. Now, I'm not talking about transactional, I'm talking about influential. They could give you a perspective, a resource, a fantastic introduction. However you're doing that, you are in charge of following up. Try not to have, I'm going to end you guys with this one. So remember that networking is a marketing opportunity, not a sales activity. So you're marketing yourselves to people, not to sell them on anything, but to engage them with intention. The money is going to come. I can give you an exact example. So I I had a show in Philadelphia. I interviewed power networkers of the greater Philadelphia and South Jersey area on RBN TV. And I interviewed a gentleman 2 years ago, and he was part of an architectural company. He then joined a team 2 years later, and they're having a conference in February. And he mentioned my name to come in and to speak at this conference to his Vistage group, who then heard my name again from another guy. That guy called me for his client who worked with Tyler. And I had 2 to 3 conversations with them because of one interaction I had with somebody. So when you build a network, and I've maintained relationships with Tyler, but he, brought my name down in a couple of different areas. When you build a network, your name gets passed around without you even knowing it. So that's why building a network is important. And that's how you build an army. But remember, one more thing, because the coffee is now dying out. One more thing. When you level up your conversation with people, if you ask them, hey, let's have a chat, or, how can I help you? What you're really saying is, I didn't take the time to think through what I can do for you, nor what you can do for me. So take out, how can I help you? Or let's chat. What you're really saying is, I didn't take the time to think through what I can do for you, nor what you can do for me. So you always want to go into a conversation with the intention of being of service and expecting nothing back, because let me tell you, the amount of people that have helped me without me even knowing it is, I can't even comprehend it, just because I've been able to give them a resource or a tool or an introduction. Did I hit my time? Oh, I did.
Amazing, Ashley. So I'm sure we're gonna have a lot of questions. I've got a ton of points to go through on this. Thank you so much, by the way. Does anybody right now have any immediate questions, comments, stories, anything you'd like to share? I'll start us off. Cool. I'm just going to start us off unless I missed a hand. Did I miss a hand? Okay, cool. So, one thing that I think ties in is that we just recently talked about one pagers. And so, I've heard so many ideologies on this. I hear people that say, yes, you have to do the one pager. I hear people that say, just put, a couple sentences together and then email it. I think that there are different ways to approach that, but I think the concept still remains the same, is to be able to have that information that you can pass quickly. I love the ideology, Ash, that it's a commodity. When we are building the army, this is a commodity. It's not to say that I have an expectation for you, but for instance, if I'm able to get you in a circle of people that can help you radically and change your business, I don't expect anything back. But if I reach out to you 3 months down the road, and I'm like, hey, would you mind introducing me to so-and-so? There should be a mutual reciprocation, right? And then the other thing is, I don't know if anybody saw this. I believe Jen, actually, I think you were on this post, and Patty, I'm not sure if you saw this, but Nick Smith put out something that's exactly what Ashley was talking about right here. Your A team and your B team. And I thought this was a really, really cool exercise. So you guys might want to check this out. And what he did, now it's a little bit different conceptually, but what he did was he basically went on LinkedIn and he said, look, if I were to go build an organization right now, a brand new one, I'm following my passion, I'm building this organization out, and I could put together any people that I've met in networking as my team. Mm-hmm. And so what he did was he went through the whole list and had, a CEO and the marketing expert and all of those different things laid out. And I thought that was a really interesting way to approach it. It's a little bit different, but again, that would be the type of A team that I would think of, right? If I could put if I could put an organization together, let me get that list, put those people out. So I love that. And then my other question for you is, on the Excel side, is this something that you're plugging in after every single call you have? We obviously saw your Excel. So when you do that, when it's applicable?
Oh yeah. I've done, people, everyone here has lived on this earth long enough to know if people are going to be helpful to you in some way. So you get to choose. That's the best part about building a network. You get to choose. You're building people that are going to advocate for you and are not in the room. If they're cool and you feel good and you feel like they are beneficial to you, mind, body, and soul, the whole thing, not just in business, throw them in there. You can always remove people. I cannot tell you how many people I've removed after 6 months that just drop off of the face of the earth, even if I reached out to them or they disappointed me somehow. That's okay. You're supposed to do it in and out. But the thing is, you don't want to exceed 150 people on that list.
Right. That's good to
I mean,
know.
to me, it sounds like it's almost like dating for professionals.
Don't even get me started on dating, Matt. It is a whole other awful experience that I never want to do again. And I'd rather network for the rest of my life and never date again. So
well, I mean, basically, you're people picking, and you have a certain set of criteria of what is conducive to you, or your business, or your personality, and you're basically playing, professional matchmaker.
absolutely, yeah. You can if you want to see it that way. You absolutely you can. I think it comes down to the criteria that you need is, are these people good? Are they good? Not necessarily in their business, but are they just good people? They're going to take care of the person that you send to them, because that builds networking equity. That's your reputation, which is your personal brand.
Yeah, well, it's quality, not quantity.
Correct. Yep. And sometimes it takes years to sift through the BS, the people that are just, not great. But if you the thing is, when you walk into a room and you see the people that you have on your list, do you go, oh, hey, or do you go, oh my God, how are you? What's the difference? When you walk into a room, you see all these people that are on your list. How do you want to feel when you enter that room? That's how it should be.
I love that. And guys, I hope you took notes on the dollar eating method. I think that's fantastic. That's a really great way.
I can send you the link to that. That's actually a Gary Vee thing. And then I will send you a resource to everybody. I'll send it to you, Keegan. You can pass it to everybody. But there's a video and an article on how to do it.
That would be great. We have a little LinkedIn group. Do you mind if I just add you there? Would that be
sure.
easy? Okay, cool. So I'll add you in there if that's better. One thing I want to share with you guys, and I'm going to create a little bit of context really quickly. So I did insurance sales for a while. And at one point throughout that journey, we were unionized, meaning that we would only work with people in unions. And so it was a little bit of a different approach. So, there would be scenarios where we would have a spokesperson go into a union hall or union meeting, and they would advocate for our services, kind of like what we're talking about here, and say, hey guys, look, we've got this group of people that does XYZ. If you're interested, fill out this little 3x5 card. They would fill out the 3x5 card. They would send it to us. We would reach out to them. If we couldn't get in touch with people after 2 or 3 weeks, we would show up at their front door. And the conversation is really simple. And there are 3 words that is applicable to this that I want to portray to you, because it's absolutely powerful in networking, ownership, whatever the thing is. Busy, important, in control. When you're networking, you want to be busy, important, and in control. And again, not from an egotistical stance. Let me explain. So if I were to knock on that person's door and there's a stranger at my door, I want to bring the walls down, right? So, hey, look, I'm so sorry. I know I'm showing up unannounced. The reason that I'm here actually is because I've been trying to reach you for 3 weeks about these benefits that you had asked us about. Unfortunately, I couldn't get you on the phone. I was right down the road, so I just figured I'd drop by real quick. But look, I actually am super busy right now. I've got to go see somebody else right down the street. I've got to drop off some paperwork. It'll only take me 15 minutes. I can come back in 20 and we can knock this out, or I can come back Thursday at whatever time. How does that sound? Great. And so, of course, that approach is going to be different when we're talking about building the army or networking, but it's still applicable. I think back to something that Patty shared with us last week, and you may need to correct me here on the particulars, Patty, but I think you said something like you had a mentor or somebody in your group that basically would get on calls and there was kind of a time limit. And it's, look, if we get to this amount of time and I don't feel like this is a good fit, I'm going to go, right? Because we don't want to waste our time. So again, how do you do that with busy, important, and in control in building an army? Quite simple. When you get on the call, hey, look, I know you're super busy. I am as well. Unfortunately, we only had 30 minutes scheduled for today. I want to make sure that we can get as much done as possible. And then that goes back to what Ashley said before. People don't care what you do. They care what you do for them and how you make them feel. And so if you can portray those things, now you've become an asset. And then again, you can perpetuate that commodity. So I just thought I would share that because I think it's great content, Ashley.
Thank you.
Does anybody else have, again, questions, comments, thoughts, anything you'd like to interject in this? I mean, I think about, okay, Patty, Ash, Jen, I don't know whose hand went first. I'm sorry.
Okay, so one of the challenges though, because see, I feel that when I get on a call with somebody, I always kind of ask them about themselves first. Then I make a point of like, I consider myself generous. I'll ask them if they've ever been in this group or, you know, where I might share something with them. But you're still going to have those people. And I don't know, I mean, I might have shared this one. I don't know whether I did, where we literally were on a call for 57 minutes. And at the end, he said, I hope that we'll be able to be referral partners. And I said to him, well, you don't even know what I do.
Oh God, I hate those people. Okay.
57 minutes in. Now, here's the interesting part. My fault. I didn't value my time. I'm not sure how I could have done that. But here's the interesting thing is he was immediately off my list because I would be mortified to send him to say Keegan and then he waste my connection, you know what I mean? Like that trust piece. But I'm saying now, I don't know how I should have pulled that in. He literally took 3 other calls in the middle of our call.
That's when you hang up on the idiot. Sorry, don't do that. That's unprofessional.
No, I did think about it, actually.
I know.
But I'm not that person, so
I know.
Hard.
Here's what you do from now on. Your new introduction phone call should be between 15 to 20 minutes, and you have a hard stop at some point. Now, again, if it continues and they say, and you want to continue the conversation, always have a buffer on your calendar, right? In between calls, just in case. You can always set up another call, but your time is valuable. It's the only thing you have. Your time is valuable, right? So if you can sense that the person has no interest in learning about who you are and what you do, what makes you awesome, then they are not a good strategic partner. You obviously know this. But set boundaries early, like Coach Keegan was talking about, set boundaries early. And so you can always schedule another call, but just say, hey, I've got a hard stop. Don't say it in the beginning. If you're coming down to like 20 minutes and it's like, okay, this guy won't shut up, then say, hey, listen, I actually have a hard stop. Would love to learn more about what you're doing in the next few weeks. I'll send you an email. Again, you don't have to blow him off, but the guy knows what he's doing. Mm-hmm. He knows what he's doing. And at the end of the day, it's not your job to educate another human how to be respectful. It's not your job.
Right.
I mean, to me, it sounds like you're shit testing them.
You're shit testing them? Explain.
Because you have to weed out the undesirables. So you have a certain criteria of what is conducive for you. And people that are not conducive, or the red flags, where you say, okay, this person is acting this way, or they're only talking about themselves, or you feel like you're Britney Spears in her first video watching the goddamn clock, in high school, waiting for the class to end. And so it's almost like you say, okay, well, let me do this, and let me shit test them. So, okay, they're wasting my time. It's time to forget about them like Eminem forgot about Dre. And at that point, once that occurs, you realize, okay, they're not worth your time, and then you pull Snoop Dogg and you drop them like it's hot.
The amount of references in this entire statement is just, please, very nice, Matthew. You're actually my favorite human of the day. Yes, but also, Matt, your criteria needs to lighten up just a little bit, right? So your criteria is going to be, how do they make you feel? Can you refer them? Do you feel comfortable referring them to your network? And is there a resource or something that they may have that would be beneficial to you? Now, again, we're not talking about transaction. We're talking about collaboration, connection, and celebration. Can you collaborate? Can you celebrate? Can you connect?
Well, I mean, there has to be some type of chemistry there. And so you're not just doing work with somebody professionally for their living, you're also doing work professionally with their personality.
Absolutely.
And so if your personalities don't gel like Collective Soul, then at that point, it's not going to sit there and pan out. And so you want to have people where you don't have to necessarily like them, but you have to get along with them. And if that's not happening and you're going at like two rednecks on Jerry Springer, then it's just not conducive for you.
Matt, can I listen to you talk all the time? Do you have a podcast? I just wanted to throw themes at you just for the references.
Well, I mean, I did do two podcasts. This guy named Russ Johns and called the Pirate Podcast. Where be the podcast? So and it was great. So Keegan knows personally, I have a very uncensored personality. Like Marley, I can't be tamed. So either you get me and you like me or don't, and if not, then Hakuna Matata. So.
I mean, can we add that to the list? If you don't like me, Hakuna Matata, I like that a lot. But Matt, you've got there's such a great point to that. You set up criteria of what you want to get out of the call. And sometimes you don't need to get anything out of the call except a new, wonderful conversation. That could be enough. And if that's enough for you, and if that's enough for you, as it should be when you're building a network, sometimes that's just enough. There's a woman that I spoke with early on today. We ended up talking about personal stuff for about half an hour. And I'm going to meet up with her, in Austin. I have no idea what the woman does. Couldn't tell you, right? But I'm going to meet up with her and her family at a farmer's market, 1,000%. So I get to learn more about what she does.
Well, it's basically a relationship cake. So you have different layers of the relationship that you have with that person. And you don't start with the icing first unless you want diabetes. You start with the bottom of the cake and then you work from there to build the layers up, and you basically pull away like the people onion. So by having that, that commonality or that chemistry, you could build toward more and greater things with people.
I could not agree with you more, Matt. Absolutely. Yep.
Real quick, Jen, I want to make sure you got a chance to speak.
All right. I was just going to add to, I had a call with a gentleman named Matt Hadley a couple weeks ago, and he and I were talking, and he was telling me that his whole networking game changed when he went into a group and they asked him, do you have the resources that you can count on if you lost everything tomorrow? And then they said, and by resources, I mean, you have 10 people in your network.
Yeah.
That if you lost absolutely everything, do you have a couch to sleep on? Do you have a car to borrow? Do you have everything there? And I think if you kind of go into networking with that mindset that I'm building these relationships that can be lasting and can be my resources if I needed them, versus I need to get this one sale. Because this one sale, it may not be enough and I may still lose my job tomorrow, but I don't have the resources if I lost my job. So if you're approaching that building relationships, it's a game changer.
Oh, Jen, you hit on something so very powerful. There was a point in time during the COVID where I thought I had gotten divorced. I'm like, I might end up being homeless. I'm not really sure what's going to happen here. And I made one email. The first time I ever reached out to just my network, because I'm always to be of service, right? So I'm Irish Catholic, right? I don't ask for help. That's just a thing. That's a problem. I'm aware that's an issue. But you're 1,000% accurate, 1,000% correct. I sent one email out about, I think, getting insurance from, health insurance. I had 14 emails, 3 phone calls being like, how are you doing? I heard, what's going on? I knew from there that I was going to be fine. Was going to be okay. Your network will not let you fail. But I cannot, that is the best story. Jen, thank you so much for bringing that up. It is 1,000% accurate.
Yeah, 2 things to share on this really quickly. And I'm sorry that you had to go through that, Ashley, but I think that it goes to show the power of the networking. And, I had a similar scenario recently where I won't mention his name, but a close individual to me that I met through networking, just over the last year, was in a situation where same thing. He had to make a pivot in his business, and him and his girlfriend were about to get evicted from their apartment in New York. And they were like, we don't have anywhere to go. Our family's in South America. We're screwed if this doesn't work out. And so just from hearing that, I made 15 connections right there. And that's the type of stuff, you want to have those relationships. And that brings me to the second point. And the second point is I am so passionate about the intrapersonal skills and the relationship building face to face. Because when we look at neurolinguistic programming, for example, they state that communication, the actual words we use are only 7% of communication. Body language is 58%. And you don't have that same interpretation, those same interpersonal interactions when you're on a screen. It's just the reality. It's not bad necessarily. It's the world we're in right now. However, I would challenge you to go to your army and see those people in person. And I'm gonna tell you guys this personally. I'm leading this charge myself. February 11th to the 13th, I will be in Florida visiting people. March 11th to the 13th, I'm going to be Northeast. So if you guys are in those areas, I would love to see you in person. I'm going to see Matt. I know his birthday's coming up, so that's going to be exciting. But that's the type of stuff that we're talking about here, is that if you have the opportunity to go and take time out of your schedule and intentionally meet these people face to face that you've never met, you've just seen on a screen, that's how you build the relationship. And that's what the most important part is. You don't need to have 100 people in your circle. But like Ashley's saying, like Jen was sharing here, if you get those 10 core people and you're able to build real relationships with them, that's what it's all about. So yes, we have a phenomenal opportunity to meet people all across the world, different states, different countries right now on this virtual platform. And that's fantastic. But where are the real relationships being built? So again, I would challenge you guys to intentionally set up time and go see people, and that goes for everybody. I love all of you, everybody on this call. I mean, you guys are all very close to me. So I want to intentionally come see you, right? Like Jen and I have talked about this. Patty and I, we're getting there, right? You're in Delaware, is that right? So yeah, I've got my trip coming to Delaware too. So, again, I would just intentionally set this up, guys. And that would be my challenge to you, is it doesn't have to be 10 people. It could be 1 or 2 people, but see if you can set those actual quality time up with somebody in your network and see the value that it brings.
1000%. Oh yeah.
So guys, we're getting real close on time. Any other thoughts, comments, questions for Ashley?
I would just like to share. I mean, what you're saying, Keegan, yeah, that's fabulous, but not everybody can do it. But I just learned, and I don't know if anybody knows this, but I just learned how on LinkedIn to do just like a 15-second video hello rather than typing, oh, I'd like to meet you, that I learned how to do a video. And it was so much fun, because I feel like it's a personality connect. When you're just typing words, you're just typing words. But if you can just say, hey, I just saw you're in my network. I really feel we could maybe bless each other, and see where we could teach each other. If you'd love to do a one-on-one, get back to me. Boom, done. It was so much fun just learning how to do that. So, and anybody want to know, just reach
Patty,
out.
take it a step further. Instead of asking them and leaving it in their court, you're in control. I'd love to do a one-on-one. I've got 3 times available. Which would you prefer?
Oh, okay.
That way you can give them, and that way they don't have to go back and forth to say yes.
Okay. Well, I usually say I can send you my calendar if you're open to it.
Don't even give them the option. Be like, here's my calendar. Love to jump on a call.
Okay.
Yeah, the one thing I want to also mention to people as well is that on LinkedIn you can leave audio messages. Like I had Russ Johns, who was did the Pirate Podcast. We were talking, and he left me an audio message with his voice. So even something as simplistic as that gives a personal touch to get people intrigued and interested and engaged and getting to know you better.
And it's rare that people use it. I've done this for about 6-7 years, and I've had 1 person send me a video message. 1. Yeah, so do it, because nobody's doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. We have 1 person sent me an audio, and I called him. He's like, here's my number. I'm like, dude, hi, tell me everything that's going on in your life. Like it shocked me, because, do it. If you can do it, do it.
Absolutely. Yeah. I don't know if you guys remember Matt Zega. He came on and spoke about core values a couple of weeks back, and he and I were on a group chat, and just like that, sending the voice audios, and through that we added like 6 people to the group, and now it's like they were complete strangers. Now we're all super connected. So I love this concept of the videos and the audio, and just standing out, being a little bit different, making yourself unique amongst all of the people that are reaching out. So any other last minute questions, comments, thoughts? No? Okay. So Ashley, I already added you to our LinkedIn group. So whenever you get that, if you want to share anything there, that would be fantastic. If you would like me to share anything to the group, I can add all of us on an email as well and do that, whatever is good. But guys, well, Ashley, let me ask you this. So out of everything that you've shared today, I think there are some key takeaways that are easy, actionable items. I'm curious if, in your own words, you have maybe 1 to 3 action items that we could potentially take with us. So for instance, I think about the Excel sheet. That's an easy action item that we could all do today or throughout this week. It's something simple. It helps organize the networking efforts. And again, as she mentioned, you don't want to go over 150. You want to be very clear and concise on those. You don't want to put 300 people as marketers. You don't need that many. So again, Ash, do you have any 1 to 3 good takeaways or action items that we can use moving forward?
Absolutely. So the $80 method is going to help you, especially online. The A and B team is going to be helpful. And then the 3 things that you want to post on LinkedIn are around these 3 areas: connecting, collaborating, and celebrating. Those are the 3 things that you should be doing on LinkedIn. Connect with people, celebrate them, and collaborate in some capacity. So those are the top 3 things to take away. I also have a course, so that's available too. But otherwise, like, those 3 things are going to be very, very, very helpful. I'll send you over a couple things, Keegan, that are all documents, just because we talked a lot about a few things and I have them. So I'll just give them to you guys as resources. But that might be better in an email just because it can be attached to search and stuff. So
thank you so much. That's incredible. Very valuable stuff, guys. So anybody else? Are we all good? We're good. All right. So Ashley, thank you so much for your time today. This was fantastic. I love your energy as always. Such good takeaways. Guys, thank you for your contribution, your questions, your thoughts, your stories. And if you need anything else, let us know. Of course, reach out in the LinkedIn or email. But I hope you guys have an incredible Tuesday, and let's make this a great week. Thank you all so much. Love you guys.
Thanks so much, Ashley. It was
You're
awesome.
so welcome. Bye, Miss Patty. See you later. Bye, Carissa.
Yeah.
Bye, guys. See ya.
Bye.
Thanks, Coach. Baby.
I'm going to call you, okay?
You're gonna call me? Sure. Okay.